Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of the Weekly Updates. First off, I'd like to take a look at how the Hurston player hab rooms are coming along. And at this point in development, the lighting artists are getting their chance to place the final touches on the hab rooms in main lobby area. For those who don't know, a hab room is going to be a place where the players can store their personal items and have a bed to sleep in. It really looks like it's coming along very nicely, so I'm looking forward to seeing them in game. And just for good measure, here's a look at the giant wall found at the entrance to Hurston that looks like it was designed to keep King Kong from getting in. And while we're on the subject of fluff, here's some updated looks at the Tumbril Cyclones, which will be added into the game along with the 3.3 update, as well as a sneak peek of how the 890 Jump's lower deck is coming along. We've also just gotten a first look at the two moons of ArcCorp, Walla and Lyria, as well as a sneak peek at their unique biomes. Walla is going to be simply a barren moon with outcrops that appear to be encrusted with geo-like minerals, while Lyria's surface is going to consist of dirty ice scattered by deep crevices and dotted with cryovolcanoes that create a constant, cold but humid atmosphere on the moon. One of the last things that they touched upon in this latest episode of ATV are the new lockers are going to be used in missions both new and pre-existing as an alternative means for players to pick up and drop off items. Lastly, this week's RTV episode was all about object container streaming. The entire segment is roughly over an hour long, but I'd highly recommend watching if you're interested at all about the subject matter. Mainly because they go over it in full detail and answer a lot of questions, as well as address a lot of misconceptions that people have surrounding this particular form of tech that's going to be going into the game. What a lot of people don't know is that early works in OCS started roughly about 3 years ago. Its main concern was always to fit Star Citizen onto a player's computer. Now, having all of the game's physical information, including ships and locations, loaded in all at once is simply not going to be possible without a massive amount of memory to fall back on, far more than the typical user is going to have. So this system breaks the game down into smaller chunks that a front-end user's computer is going to be able to handle. This isn't a new concept in gaming, but it is trying to accomplish this on a scale that's never been worked on before, and requires a custom programmed approach to making it work. And this is the tech that allows us to seamlessly move through an environment with no loading screens by streaming in information as it's needed and dumping it when it's no longer relevant, which is going to be done both on the client side and on the server side, since even servers have a finite amount of memory to work with. Most of the OCS work is focused for now on client-side streaming and isn't going to be a magical fix for all frame rate and hitching issues. This is mainly because all people's rigs are different, and these problems are going to be more or less prevalent depending on what your CPU is, what kind of motherboard you have, whether or not you're using an SSD, and how much RAM you have to work with. With that said, regardless of what kind of computer you have, OCS is still going to greatly cut down on the memory requirements that are needed for your computer to keep track of in-game entities. And initial reports on in-house builds that use object container streaming have shown drastic improvements to the overall performance of the game. I'm going to include a link in the description of this video to the RTV episode about object container streaming in case you wanted to check it out for yourself. I'd highly recommend it. There's a lot of good information about what exactly OCS is, what's involved in making things thread safe, and what bind culling is. And that's going to be it for the weekly updates. Thanks for dropping by, and take care.